You're holding $200 bills. One you earned through months of overtime, stress, sacrifice, the kind of money that feels like a piece of your life. The other just arrived in a birthday card from your grandmother with a handwritten note. Treat yourself. Right now, they don't feel like the same substance at all. The earned cash is heavy, almost sacred. The gift is light, playful, already spent in your imagination. But step into a store and they buy exactly the same things. So the real question isn't why we treat them differently. It's whether your brain, on a deep biological level, even believes they're the same. Most of us figure it's just weak self-control. It's free money, so I don't value it as much. But that's almost entirely wrong. You're not irrational. You're running ancient mental software that's over 200,000 years old. Software that, in a very real sense, doesn't know what money is. You walk into a store holding a gift card. The fluorescent lights hum. The shelves are full of sensible things you actually need. And yet, 10 minutes later, you're walking out with a $40 artisanal candle. The card didn't make you richer. It just changed the story your brain told itself about the money. And that changed everything. A university lab. A researcher slides an envelope across the table. Inside, $1,000. The participant opens it, glances at the note. Bonus. A small smile. Cut to a travel agency window, the same person pointing at a brochure, credit card already in hand. Same experiment, different day. The envelope says reimbursement. The participant reads it, nods, and quietly transfers the money into savings. Same amount, same person, completely different fate. It's as if the brain has a dusty filing room nobody ever visits, cabinets lining the walls, each drawer labeled in faded ink. Salary, bonus, gift, refund, tax return. That single word on the envelope sends the cash to a specific drawer, and once it's in there, the emotional rules of that drawer take over. Economists have a word for how we're supposed to treat money. Fungibility. Every dollar identical, interchangeable. But your brain thinks fungibility is absurd. It insists dollars have stories, and stories come with rules. So you never ask, how much? You whisper, where did this come from? And who am I allowed to be with it? But if mental accounting is just an irrational flaw, why hasn't evolution erased it? To answer that, we leave the filing room. Imagine you're an early human, 60,000 years ago. You've just brought down a deer. The smell of blood and fresh meat fills the air. The meat will rot in days, but back at camp, you have dried berries that could last months. Your brain doesn't lump these together as calories. It assigns them totally different stories. The meat must be eaten now, shared now, celebrated now. The berries are for lean times. They belong to a different account. That's not irrational, that's survival. And that same storytelling instinct is still running the show. Now, the first marketplaces of Mesopotamia. Dust swirls in the afternoon heat. The air smells of livestock and spice. A merchant holds up a silver coin, shouting over the noise of traders and animals. This tiny piece of metal promises something unprecedented, that a fish, a fur coat, and a day's labor can all be measured by the same token. A farmer hesitates, then nods. Hands exchange. For civilization, this is a miracle. But for your brain? Evolution doesn't rewrite ancient decision systems in a few thousand years. Your survival instincts are hundreds of thousands of years old. Money is brand new. So your brain still runs the old code, treating every dollar as if the story of where it came from determines whether you live or die. Here's a moment that links the ancient world directly to your wallet. A prehistoric hunter carefully sets aside a portion of dried meat, marking it with a symbol, untouchable for winter only. Cut to you, today, checking your retirement balance, feeling that same quiet resolve. This money is not for now. it belongs to a different time, a different self. The software hasn't changed at all. The filing room has strange rules. You return a purchase. The cashier hands you back a few bills. Logically, that money should go back to a neutral pile. But inside your head, a stubborn clerk takes the cash, checks its label, fun money, and deliberately places it right back in the same drawer. Studies show that refunded cash carries the label of the original account. So even though your net worth hasn't changed, that money feels like free fun all over again. You spend it frivolously a second time. The label sticks. Money never really goes back to being neutral. It always wears its past. A casino. The neon is blinding, the slot machines sing. You win a few $100s, house money. It doesn't feel like yours. It still belongs to the casino, so you treat it like it's not real. And just like the gift card and just like the bonus, your brain slaps a label on it. This isn't savings, this isn't rent, this is play money. So you bet it more recklessly, double down on risks you'd never take with your paycheck. The house money effect. Mental accounting in its purest form, and the brain's ancient logic treats it as if it were found fruit. Consume it quickly before it spoils. But here's the twist. If this system is so ancient, could it actually be useful? Picture a fortress on a hill. Inside those stone walls is your retirement account, your house deposit. The younger, impulsive version of you is outside, trying to scale the walls, dreaming of a new car or a lavish vacation. The older version of you stands at the top, holding the keys. Let's be honest, we've all been that younger version, staring at a savings account and thinking, I could definitely afford a new TV right now. Thaler discovered that people build these psychological fortresses around untouchable accounts to protect their future selves from their present impulses. Someone carrying credit card debt at 20% interest while keeping a savings account earning a measly 2% looks insane on a spreadsheet. But to the brain, that savings account isn't just money. It's a sacred promise, a symbol of security. Touching it would feel like betrayal. So mental accounting becomes a homemade self-control device, a negotiation between who you are right now and who you want to become, managed entirely through the stories you tell about your money. All these moments, the store, the lab, the filing room, the ancient camp, the market, the casino, the fortress, they all tell the same story. The reason you treat a gift card differently from your paycheck isn't a financial error. It's proof that your brain doesn't process the world like an accountant. It processes it like a storyteller. You don't just spend money, you spend meaning. The question was never about dollars. It was about how the human mind makes sense of chaos by attaching stories to everything it touches. So the next time you hold $200 bills, one earned, one gifted, don't scold yourself. Ask instead, what story did my brain just slap onto this money? Once you can spot the labels, you're not a slave to them anymore. You can step back, see the entire filing room, and decide which drawer actually makes sense. And you finally understand something that changes everything. You never just spend money. You spend meaning.